COVID-19 has left a lasting impact in South Africa. So many have lost their lives. In fact, insurance group Discovery has indicated that by December 2021, we could lose over 90,000 people if we cannot effectively roll out the COVID-19 vaccine. So considering that as an employee, as a business owner, I want to show you how you can start protecting your income if or when you do contract this virus. Income protection is a very underutilized product in South Africa, and it offers a great variety of benefits. It's something that I have myself. If I am able to protect my income from any disease, not just COVID, I'm able to provide for my family when I am too unwell to work to provide for them. Now imagine getting sick, you have bills to pay, you've exhausted your sick leave. What do? Well, that's where income protection comes into place. If you're keen to know more, or if you have income protection already and if you want somebody independent to review that for you to ensure that you have the best cover on the market, go to my website. It's www.financiallyfabulousfemales.com/FMI, or click on the link down below and leave your details. I'll reach out to you and I will review your current income protection to see if it is the best on the market, most cost effective, and do you have those low waiting times that we speak of in this chat with Elmarie. So let's jump into that interview with Elmarie. She's going to break down the income protection product for us. Let us know what it's about, how we can claim, how we can get it, and what's the benefit of having income protection as the average South African. So Elmarie, welcome to the Wealth Nation podcast. How are you doing today?
Thank you. I'm doing really well. Thank you for having me.
Now, Elmarie, you're from a company called FMI. I had a client
ask me. Yes, that's correct.
I had a client ask me what does FMI stand for?
So we actually just go by FMI, but historically it was Financial Management International. But we're just known as FMI.
All right, cool. So
people always ask us that question, and some people may even say it's for my income, because at the end of the day, that's what we're about.
Yeah, the income protection. All right, cool. So you're on here today because you're going to share with us about a very unique product offering that other companies offer it as well. But for me, FMI seems to be my favorite. And tell us from an FMI perspective, Elmarie, what is income protection?
Sure thing. So I will just start off by saying that FMI have been doing income protection for a lot longer than the other companies. So I think it's our experience over the years that has taken us to the next level, because we learn as things happen. But if you start with just understanding what income protection is, it's quite simple. You have the ability to ensure your monthly income, so that if you are either injured or ill and you are unable to work, FMI will then pay your monthly salary so that you can meet those ongoing monthly expenses for however long it takes you to recover.
All right. So in terms of the state of where we're at right now, the country is reeling, the whole world is reeling from this pandemic. How does income protection fit in to what's happening right now in terms of COVID-19?
I think income protection is an essential part of any financial plan, irrespective of the state that we're in at the moment. But it has definitely just, for me, made an even bigger emphasis on the importance of income protection. As an insurer, FMI have seen an increased amount in the claims that we are currently paying, and that is mostly as a result of the COVID pandemic. So as you can imagine, there are loads of South Africans who have been unable to work as a result of being diagnosed with COVID-19. And that is absolutely what income protection is there for, is to cater for those periods that you're unable to work.
Who exactly is it for? I mean, how can FMI be helping South Africa here?
Okay, so that's for me another nice thing about FMI's product solution is that we do cater for a wide range of occupations. FMI started out by providing cover predominantly for the self-employed, so your business owners.
Mm-hmm.
And over the years, the product has evolved to include thousands of different occupations. So for us, whether you are self-employed, salaried, a professional, a commission earner, a person earning from multiple income sources, working part-time as a freelancer, in our view, everyone needs to protect their monthly income because at the end of the day, that is what allows you to make an impact in the world around you. So income protection is available to a wide range of occupations that we have here in South Africa.
All right, perfect. So, how does it work then? So, you sit with your broker, a broker does his thing, provides you with various FMI solutions, and then it's time to claim. How does income protection function in that sense?
Okay, so here it's going to depend on the type of policy that you have. What I'll be speaking about now is specific to the FMI individual product, the comprehensive version,
Mhm.
which is the product that's available to most business owners or salaried individuals. And it's also the policy that I have myself.
Yeah.
So when I'm speaking to you, I'm speaking from experience because I have had 3 claims on my own FMI policy. So when you are submitting an FMI claim, there is a claim form that is typically completed by the claimant, so the policyholder. And then the second thing is we then need to get confirmation from your doctor with regards to what you've been diagnosed with. So depending on the condition that you're claiming for, we do have something called our fast track claims where we know upfront we have a list of over 200 conditions where you receive a guaranteed payment just for being diagnosed with this condition. And we know that we're going to pay you for a set period of time. So, for example, let's say you are diagnosed with stage 1 cancer. We know that if you provide us with that histology diagnosis, your diagnosis, and the supporting medical evidence, will pay you for 3 months, irrespective of whether you can work. If you're not claiming for one of those, what we call fast track events, then we'll have to hear from your doctor. And in that doctor's report, the doctor will tell us what is wrong with you. So, what injury or illness have you had? And then, secondly, how that affects your ability to work. And for as long as you can't do some of your work or all of your work, you can receive an income protection payout.
All right. So, with COVID-19, some people
Yes.
are heavily affected, and for somebody else, it's like a normal flu that they're getting over. How does
Correct.
this income protection, how would this work in terms of COVID-19?
Just to keep it simple, I'm once again just going to refer to the FMI individual comprehensive policy. But on that, it does fall under one of our fast track claim events for a sickness. In that case, all we will need from a claims perspective is a claim form,
Yeah.
as well as your positive COVID test, and your GP needs to provide us with the sick note. And that will then pay for the first 14 days, depending on how long your GP has booked you off for, if you've got a 7-day waiting period on your policy.
All right.
So we'll pay for the first 14 days just on a sick note. If you have any complications and you may need to claim for longer, then your claim will be paid on your doctor's report. So in that case, we'll have to get further information from your doctor.
Okay. One of the unique things that FMI has that other companies don't have is those waiting times. And most companies
Yes.
have the 14-day for a very minute group of people, and then for everybody else, it's
Yeah,
30 day. Whereas FMI, it's 7 days. I think it's for business owners and then people like me, commission earners.
exactly.
So when we're
Yes.
down for 7 days, we can put in a claim. But what happens in the case of those folks that have the 30-day waiting period, and we've got a 14-day isolation period, I think, for
Mm.
COVID-19?
So
Is
that's why we always stress the importance of taking the shortest waiting period that you can. As you mentioned, with FMI, our shorter waiting periods are actually available to a lot more occupations than you typically find in the industry.
yeah.
So if you are dealing with a salaried individual, typically in the industry, they will have a 30-day waiting period,
Hmm.
where with FMI, they can qualify for a 14-day waiting period.
Yeah.
In terms of COVID, though, what that means is they wouldn't get paid for the first 14 days.
Yeah.
But if COVID resulted in them being unable to work for longer than 14 days, which is still the case for many individuals out there, we would then start paying from day 15.
Okay.
So I always say to people, choosing the right waiting period is absolutely the most important decision you're going to make when you take out an income protection policy.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's right now from what I offer my clients, it's FMI that has the lowest period, especially those 7 days, because that's when you're most likely to claim. I mean, you sit down
Exactly.
with the flu, you something happens, and it's in
Yeah,
that initial time period that you're down. You can't go to work, and if you can't see clients, you can't earn an income. So that's a really nice feature
exactly.
I like from FMI. So we've discussed how it works, right? And what's the maximum period can we claim for in terms of income protection?
Okay, so on income protection, you typically, I'll start with the most popular benefit is called a temporary income protector.
Hmm.
Temporary income protector pays you for the first 2 years that you're unable to work.
Okay.
Um, if you look at our claims history, we see that around 90% of our claims last for less than 90 days. So the vast majority of our claims are for very short periods. So I would say, as a minimum, a temporary income protector is what people need to consider. Then you get what's referred to as an extended income protector. An extended income protector then pays after the 2 years, and that will take you up until your selected retirement age, or it can even pay to for the rest of your life. So it's a personal decision, obviously, that you need to make together with your financial advisor, but from my perspective, a temporary income protector is a must because that's what's going to cover you against those injuries or illness that last for a short period. And then if you're concerned about long-term injury or illnesses, that is where that extended income protector is exceptionally important. We've got a claimant at the moment. We've actually had this many times over the years, but this specific claimant with us, this person was a travel guide
Yeah.
and she was diagnosed with esophageal cancer. And in her case, as a result of the cancer, it affected her vocal cords, where she's now unable to ever speak again.
Wow.
Unfortunately, though, in terms of the benefits that she selected, she only took the temporary income protector, which pays her for 2 years, which means that's coming to an end now, and her income payments will cease, and she's no longer able to perform her job. So if she had taken the extended income protector, that would have paid her until her selected retirement age.
All right. So how is the extended different from the traditional lump sum disability?
Great question. So there is one key difference for me between the extended income protector and your lump sum disability. Well, there's actually two. The first difference is your extended income protector pays you a monthly income, whereas your disability lump sum product will pay you a once-off lump sum. If we then look at the claims criteria, this is the important part. A
Okay.
lump sum will only pay you if you are permanently disabled. So here we are looking at illness or an injury that prevents you from ever being able to work again, compared to an income protector that will pay you for as long as you can't work, and it doesn't have that requirement for permanence. Now, the reason why I think this is so important is based on our claims history. What we've seen is that 4 out of 10 of our claims that we've paid over the years on the extended income protector, those clients have not been permanently disabled.
Hmm.
So what that means is if they had only had the traditional lump sum disability benefit, they wouldn't have received a payment at all. So I do think that you have greater claim certainty on an extended income protector benefit, but that's not saying there isn't a place for lump sum disability.
Okay.
In FMI's view, you need a combination of both.
Okay.
And in our view, the way we see it is that income protection is there to pay for your monthly expenses. And lump sum is still required, but that is for those once off or additional expenses.
Yeah. Okay, cool. What's the cost of not having this cover in place? Because it's fairly new. I mean, we see people taking the traditional life, dread disease, and lump sum disability. So
Mm.
if we don't have this, how can this impact folks?
That's the thing. I think that even a short-term interruption in your income can have long-term devastating consequences.
Mhm.
I think just with COVID and the lockdown period that we had last year, especially that first lockdown,
Yes.
people saw how a short-term interruption in your income can have a knock-on impact where businesses have closed down. I mean, I just have to walk into my local mall to see the number of businesses that have been there for years and have suddenly closed shop.
Yeah.
And that is the impact for me of not having income protection in place. The reality is that most individuals out there don't have enough savings
Yes.
to provide them with an income if they can't work for a short period. And I do think that income protection is very cost effective if you consider the cost of that monthly premium to give you that peace of mind that we will pay your salary until your retirement if you are unable to work.
And how many times can you claim on the temporary income and the extended income?
It's an unlimited amount of claims. So the funny thing is we've actually had clients who have claimed over 20
What?
times just on their temporary income protector.
Wow.
So if you go and have a look at FMI's website, you'll see there's a real stories section on the website.
Mhm.
And if you click on 21 Lives, you'll see we've got 21 mini documentaries that we did probably about 5 years ago. It's real claimants who tell their own personal stories of how income protection helped them through difficult periods. And I was very involved in that campaign and putting together some supporting content for that. And
Okay.
I think there were probably about 3 or 4 of those individuals who had had over 15 claims
Wow.
just on the temporary income protector. So it's amazing to see how many of our clients do in fact have multiple claims. As I said earlier, I'm a healthy person and I've had 3 claims on my temporary income protector.
Okay. So wouldn't frequent claiming increase your premiums on that portion of your policy?
Fortunately not. So unlike with your
Like short
short-term
term.
insurance products, it doesn't work in the same way. Once you have come onto our books, so once you've gone through the underwriting process, so the underwriting process is at the beginning when you take out a policy, you may be asked to go for some medicals for us to make sure that you are at an appropriate level of risk in terms of your medical health. Once you've gone through that process, the underwriting is done.
Okay.
So we can't now charge you more if you are a serial claimant on your
Yeah.
FMI policy.
Okay. So we've spoken about the difference with FMI, especially with the waiting times. But how is the FMI product, the income protection, how is it different from other companies out there?
Yeah, I think there's quite a few differences. So I'm going to limit myself to maybe 2 or 3.
Okay.
So I would say one of the first differences for me is when it comes to the amount of income that you can insure.
Okay.
So with FMI, you can cover 100% of your after-tax income on our temporary as well as on the extended income protector. What you find with some of the other companies is when you are claiming on the extended income protector portion, so after the 2 years, some companies may still limit you to 75% of your income.
Yeah.
And So that for me doesn't make a lot of sense, because we see when our clients are claiming on long-term claims, it's usually because their health has been affected in quite a hectic way. And that often comes with additional medical expenses and additional monthly expenses. So in our view, it doesn't make sense for your income to then decrease to 75%. We allow you to cover 100%, and that is paid even if you're not permanently disabled, as I said just now. And then if I had to pick one more point, I would probably go with our CI income benefit.
Okay.
So just quickly to introduce that, a few years ago, FMI spoke to our claimants who had claimed as a result of critical illnesses. So that includes things like cancer, heart attacks, strokes. And we wanted to understand from them, what do they need when they're diagnosed with a critical illness?
Yeah.
And when we spoke to them, they told us that they face quite a few challenges, and I'll just mention a few. The first thing that we see with cancer patients is they often have intermittent periods of treatment. So with chemotherapy, you're not necessarily booked off for a long continuous period. You're booked off for a couple of days once you've had your chemo,
Yeah.
and then you're expected to return to work. So what they said for us is that was very difficult for them, is going back to work so quickly, and then they off the next week. So that to and fro added a lot of stress to them. Um, and then also what they told us is, once you are told that you're in remission, your income protection claim comes to an end and you're expected to go back to work immediately.
Yeah.
But what they've said to us is that you haven't had the time to actually process what you've just gone through. And some people just need a bit longer time to actually focus on getting better and getting back to normal again. So what we did from a product perspective is we introduced a benefit called CI income. It is something that you can take with your temporary income protector at a very small additional premium, and it changes the way that your claim is assessed. So instead of us only paying when you can't work as a result of an accident or illness, if you are diagnosed with a listed critical illness like cancer, even if it's stage 1, instead of paying you for 3 months, as an example,
Yeah.
you are guaranteed to get 130% of your income for a 12-month period. And what we think that does is, firstly, that extra 30% helps people with the additional monthly costs.
Mhm.
Secondly, your claim doesn't need to be reassessed in that period. So even if you recovered within a month, you know that your salary is going to get paid for that full year.
Mhm.
And then thirdly, that gives you the time to actually focus on your recovery. So if you need to stay off work longer, you have the peace of mind that your income stream is still coming into your bank account.
Okay. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. I have a lot of clients. That's a big selling point for me with a lot of clients, because it's a very unique. Nobody else in the country is offering that now. It's just
Yeah.
FMI. All right. Oh, we spoke a lot about the traditional professions like commission earners, business owners. But with the change last year, with everything that's happened, a lot of people are temping. They're virtual assistants. They're doing a little graphic design here, a
Yep.
little digital media there. They're freelancing. How does FMI fill that gap?
Good question once again. So, as I said in the beginning, FMI wants to ensure that every South African is able to protect their income, irrespective of what they do, on a from an occupational perspective. In August of last year, we actually evolved our product. So I mentioned earlier that there are different versions of the product, and I was talking about the comprehensive version. So 6 years ago, we introduced a new type of cover. It's called event-based cover.
Okay.
And that was aimed at over 250 high-risk occupations that couldn't get any income protection at that time in the country. So examples would be high voltage electricians or gym instructors or artists or entertainers, professional sports people. And that's who that event-based product covered, is occupations that you couldn't really get income protection for elsewhere. Last year in August, we extended that to an even wider range of individuals. So we said, we understand that there are people who are working part time in many different jobs. You know, there are so many clients out there at the moment who have a side hustle,
Yeah.
or they're dabbling a bit in, let's say, graphic design, but they're also doing social media marketing, and they've got their own little business on the side.
Yeah.
So we realized that those people also need to protect their income.
Mhm.
And that's what we've done with our product, is we've opened it up to a wider range of individuals. So you can absolutely contact us to see whether we can assist you with those clients.
All right, cool. So if anybody's out there, you fall into the category of where you can't get this kind of cover, you can go to our website. It's www.financiallyfabulousfemales.com/FMI. And I'm going to give you a call and assist you guys with that. All right, Elmarie, any parting shots from you? Anything you feel that our viewers and our listeners need to know about this very unique product that FMI is offering?
Yeah, I think I'll just end with the same note. If you're curious about FMI income protection, please check out our Facebook page or our website, fmi.co.za, and click on that Real Stories tab. For me, it's really those people telling their own personal stories that bring home the importance of protecting your income and knowing that you and your loved ones are looked after.
All right. Thank you so much for your time, Elmarie. We'll talk to you soon.
Only a pleasure. Goodbye.
Bye. So that was Elmarie from FMI. I hope that Elmarie provided some value and you've got a better idea of what income protection is all about. And if you're looking for income protection, click the link down below and I will help you get that. Some of the best income protection products in the country with FMI.